What's going on, everybody? It's the one and only one Qua one JSUCSH, and we are back once again with another tutorial. I'm on spring break and March Madness just ended, so I thought it'd be the perfect time to take some time and show you guys how to build a Minecraft basketball stadium. So let's get started. Alright, so at first we started off with just a giant circle of bricks and stacked that up, and then just had a square inscribed in it at the top, which you can see. So our first step on transforming this into a stadium was to make the floor. So we went on a scale of about 1 foot to 1 block for the floor, so we made it whatever dimensions that is, I can't remember off the top of my head. And then we started planning out the lines. So we used a reference picture of how all the lines should be and then just kind of modified that so it looked good in blocks. We went for a blue and birchwood and white color scheme just to sort of match our reference pictures. So we copied that and flipped it across all the axes and then added that little blue cushion area, I guess, around it. Next, we started to work on the seating, so we added a basic wall, the first row of seats, and then planned out our stairs. For our seat design, we needed to fit a lot of seats in here, so that's why we used the sign and trapdoor design so we could fit a ton of seats in. And then we added some aisles in between the seats every once in a while, added some iron bars, and then we made another set of stairs and a tunnel going through. Now the tunnel, I didn't show it in this video, but I actually added a curve around the side with some black wool, so it gives the appearance that it keeps on going through, but just because of space and time constraints and because the video's not on how to build, you know, everything, because that's way too much stuff. So then we copied this to the other side, and we had a little interesting time with that corner. So Blackiichan, he was the one that worked on the corner. So he just made a little design while I worked on that top left area. And then he just sort of went through, and you can see it's not a perfect corner, but we just adjusted it later on to make it fit. And then just go through the best you can with trapdoors and signs just to try to make it look good. And once you see the final product, it does turn out well, but it is a little bit different just because that corner, but corners are always a little fun project to work on. So I added a sandstone wall and then added some supports under the gray stained clay bit, and then just continued adding the supports, and then I followed that sandstone wall right along the bricks so that it looked really smooth. So I just planned it out with sponge, used the world edit to replace it over. And then we had once again this corner support, which is kind of iffy, so we just built that one up by hand. And then we decided, you know what, we can just use world edit once again to rotate it by 45 degrees, and then we pasted that in. But we originally had it done by hand. It doesn't make a huge difference, it just it'd be a little more spicy. So then we added a little box section, added a little window just for you know, the commentator guys, they need a yada yada yada, this will happen in the game, okay Bill, yep Bill, you know, them people. And then since it was a little dark under that overhang area, we decided to add some lights in with just a little design, iron bars and glass pane in the middle. And then we add a little side thing to it just to spice it up a little bit. Moving on to the side, we added an indent with some color in there, spice it up, and then added a roof on top of that little box area, just so it would connect well and finish off that area. And while this was going on, I should mention that the roof was being built over the top. So that is the basic design for that. And then adding on to the roof, we wanted to have a curved roof just so it wasn't as boring and gave us a little more room. So I went through and did a technique that I've been using for years, which is with World Edit and a website called Mineconics. Now Mineconics allows you to generate circles, ellipses, and all sorts of shapes and give you what it would look like in voxels or pixels. So I went through and made a big circle and then figured out where I need to start and then use this for my curve in the roof. Then I just had to copy that whole thing and flip it to the other side once it was done. So in the meantime, we filled in the holes with some glass, and then we also added supports on the side once we get over there. So we added supports down the side, filled that in with glass too, and made sure everything was connected to the clay area. And then, like I said earlier, we're gonna copy that whole thing, flip it to the other side, and just be done with that. So now we're adding on some details. So since we wanted to be a little more fancy than benches, so we added chairs, we added a tunnel on either side of the stadium for players to enter the floor, the playing area. And then we also had the scoreboard, as you saw earlier. Now the scoreboard is just a base color behind it with a similar color of glass in front of it, and then a little bit of highlight. And we're gonna have this suspended from the roof from that nether brick, and a little bit of, I forgot what the block name is, that new red block that's sort of like nether brick, I forgot what it's called. And then we also added in some hanging light designs, which just has a little bit of sea lantern in it, just to give it a little something at night. So now I'm gonna let you take a look at the final product. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, time-lapse, and all that. Once again, shout out to the guys over at Cubed Community for helping me out on this build. We accomplished it in about 3.5 hours, I think. So that was a pretty quick one for something we had no clue where it was gonna go. So shouts out to them. I'll have the IP for that server in the description. Make sure to leave a like on this video and comment down below. Let me know what you would like to see next, and I'll see you guys in the next video.